All right, so butterfly stretch. Butterfly stretch is a very common stretch that you see in the gym, but most people that are doing it are actually doing it incorrectly. So the first mistake that you see people make is they come over here and they put their feet together and then they round their back, right? So when you round your back like this is actually taking away from the stretch from these inner thighs, right? And then they'll come over here and they'll kind of flap their legs like this, but this isn't doing anything because there's no resistance to help me get deeper into this stretch. So here are a few ways to make this stretch a lot more accessible for people and to get more gains out of it. So the first thing you need to do is find a surface where you can put your back against the wall completely flat. So I'm actually going to set up in this position with my back completely flat up against. See how I'm sitting up straight? This is much better and actually more productive than just punching over and not getting any work done. So you're going to put your feet together as close as possible. And the level 1 of this is just to use your hands to press down on your knees gently, and then using those inner thigh muscles to press back up, okay? So you can do this for high reps, 20 reps, 50 reps, 100 reps, as many reps as you'd like. Now, let's say you're really tight in this position, okay? So if you're really, really tight and your knees are really, really high up here, you can't open your groin, then what you can do is get a yoga block, or you could find something to sit on. If you elevate your butt off the ground, it's going to make it easier to relax into the stretch. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit on this block. Same cue, so I'm just going to put my feet together like this, and then I'm going to press on my knees down. So this is actually a lot easier. It gives me better leverage. And again, you can raise this higher if needed, if you're really, really tight. But just press down and then come back up. Press down, come back up. Over time, what you can do is use a little bit of weight. I would recommend starting with around 5% of what you weigh in each hand. Then work your way up to about 12.5% of what you weigh in each hand. So from here, I can use that weight to press down even deeper into that stretch and then coming back up. So I'm not pulling the weights up. I'm actually using my groin to do the movement, okay? All right, so that is the regression or the easier way. So then the standard way would be to use no block and just do it on the floor. But let's say you're really flexible at the stretch. You can already get your knees to the floor like this, okay? What is the progression? So if you want to get more flexible, this is for more advanced. What you can do is take that same yoga block or find some object and put that block in between your feet like this. So see how this naturally just widens the groin even more? You can do that same technique of pressing on your knees, but over time you can use that same concept of adding more weights to the stretch, and already I can feel this is much more intense. And you can do the same thing, squeeze back up. You get the idea. So the weighted butterfly is a great stretch for the groin muscles, specifically the deep groin, the muscles that are closest to the pelvis. It's not a very good stretch if you want to stretch the inside of your knee because the legs are bent. If the legs are bent like this, it kind of takes out the slack from the knees. So the weighted butterfly is really a great stretch for the muscles closest to the groin. A couple other things that are really important about this stretch is that when I'm in this bottom position right here, I'm also thinking about one thing, which is using the antagonist muscle to pull me deeper into the stretch. So I'm thinking about using my outer hip muscles, the outside of my hip right here on the opposite side of the groin, to pull my legs apart even deeper. So I'm using that active strength to even help me open my legs more, okay? So that's a great way to open those groin muscles. If you really struggle with this stretch, or if you want to get this stretch to progress even faster, you can do one more thing, and that is working on your pigeon stretch. So if you come over here, can set an incline bench to, I would say if you've never done this stretch, I would say start it around 30 degrees. And then put your leg against the bench like this. And you can see how my leg is about a 90-degree angle. You want to keep that as a 90-degree angle. And then step back until I feel a stretch on this back leg. And I'm just going to hold this position. So you can see this, my leg is kind of in the same position as the butterfly stretch, but it is stretching the opposite side. I'm actually strengthening that opposite side. I'm holding my body weight up. But first, you can just use your hands to hold, but the less hands I use, the more strength I need. Over time, you can lower this to get even lower. As you can see, now this is harder, more stretch. I can lean forward as well. Try to get my head to the foot. But working that progression is going to actually help open up the opposite side. So when you do work on the groin, it's going to actually open up those muscles even faster. So use this one and the butterfly regressions by sitting on a block to make very, very fast progress. Use some weights to help open up the groin faster and also make sure your back is straight against a surface. All right, that's it.